Hello and welcome back, y'all, to One Piece chapter 1041. My name is Sai, and holy crap, this chapter has been quite something. I've said that with almost every chapter thus far, but I really mean it this time. Like, we have Izou defeating CP0, we have Luffy being the confirmed devil fruit user that has this crazy awakening that the government is afraid of. There's so much going on, and I cannot wait to talk about it. So without further ado, let's get right into this chapter. Alright, so to start us off, we have the cover page story, which follows the shenanigans of Yonji and Niji within Whole Cake Island. And for a while now, I've been theorizing who might actually come and save them from this predicament. I was guessing some crazy names like Blackbeard coming in to steal the road poneglyph from Big Mom's territory, maybe even Shanks doing the exact same thing. But it turns out it is most likely going to be the simplest solution of Pudding. Yes, Pudding is technically beating them up in this cover page, but I can only imagine that she will help them out at the end of the day because they are Sanji's family. Just like how Sanji came to, I wouldn't say forgive them, but he's come to accept them. I feel like Pudding will do the same thing and actually help them get out of this scenario. One thing I would love to see from this cover page story is the inclusion of Katakuri. We haven't seen him in a while now, and we know that he's the one holding down the fort here at Whole Cake Island, so it would just be nice to see him. Alright, so moving on into the actual chapter, we start off where we left off last time with Momonosuke talking to Yamato about Zunisha, and it turns out that Momonosuke is the one who summoned Zunisha here, and he's actually quite fluent at talking with him as well. Last time they had a conversation in the manga, it was very incoherent, and if you watch the grueling anime episode of this conversation, it lasted 15 freaking minutes of the episode of Zunisha just screaming, and everybody's like, oh my god, what are they trying to say? So I'm glad it is more clear-cut. They're actually just talking one-on-one, and he's really just waiting for Momonosuke to give an order to do something. But now the question becomes, what will Momonosuke ask him to do? As much as we want to learn what crimes Zunisha committed during the Void Century, there are more pressing matters at hand right now. We have Onigashima still heading towards the capital of Wano Kuni. We have Onigashima on fire, the samurai trapped up there on that floating island. And we also have marine ships entering Wano Kuni. There's so many things that Zunisha could help out with, so there's not time to chit-chat. But if anything, this just hypes up the ending of Wano even more, considering the fact that Momonosuke can easily converse with Zunisha now. To be honest though, what we really need Zunisha to do is just to give Momonosuke a pep talk. Somebody needs to do it, whether it's Luffy, whether it's Yamato, or all of these scabbards. Somebody has to cheer this kid up because he's like, it's almost out of nowhere, right? Like, he read Oden's journal, he knows that he's some sort of prophetic child that has the voice of all things, but at the same time, he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't have the courage to enact Oden's will. And it shows because he even mentions like, hey, Yamato, opening the borders, is this even a good idea? Like, you know, 20 years ago, this was an amazing idea. But right now, like, do we really need this? And the answer is a resounding yes, you do need this. Like, I get what he's saying, right? We have Kaido, who's this crazy pirate that came in from outside of Wano Kuni, destroying the country, starving its people. We have, you know, under the table weapons dealing from across the world. He's manufacturing smiles here. It's not looking too good. You don't like the people from the outside, but the fact that Wano is closed is a good reason why nobody helped them. You had the government that did not deal with this because Wano is not affiliated with the world government. You have pirates who 9 out of 10 did not know this was even happening. This reminds me of the scene when Marco was talking to Nekomamushi about Oden, saying, hey, I didn't even know this guy died until years later. And it's just like, bro, like, if information actually left Wano while Roger was alive, while Whitebeard was alive, dude, they would have went here and destroyed Kaido. Like, no cap, like, it would have happened because they dropped him off thinking that, you know, his country is a-okay, he's gonna go live a happy life, you know, we had the end of our journey, and they just said goodbye to him. But if they knew what was happening here and they knew that he needed this help, they would have been here in the snap of a finger. Even the world government was like, hey, let's not deal with Wano Kuni. They're a closed off country. They're not affiliated with us. There's no reason for us to help them at all. And the samurai are strong. They can do their own thing. And then here we are. All the samurai are enslaved by Kaido. We have everybody starving to death. We have everybody under the tyrannical rule of Orochi. Nothing is going well because they closed off their borders. And Momonosuke just can't see this. He really just needs to sit down and somebody needs to talk to him about what's happening here. I know Momonosuke will find the courage to open the borders by the end of the arc. It's like guaranteed. There's no freaking way we leave Wano and he's still closed off to the entire world. There's no way. So the real question becomes, who will give him this pep talk? We have Yamato, who's right here. We have maybe Oden in some weird vision. We could have Hiyori telling him, hey, wake up. We could have Zunisha saying, hey, it was a mistake to close off Wano so many years ago. Or we could have Luffy tell him that. There's so many people that could step up to the plate and to give him a pep talk, because I kind of feel for the kid, right? He's this like 8-year-old boy, and all of a sudden, I think he's like, what, like 28 years old now? Like, he has a lot of responsibility on his shoulders out of nowhere. But at the same time, he should know from right from wrong. He just needs someone to guide him there. All right, so the main reason why people said that Yamato could not join the crew is because she knows too much. She knows where Laugh Tale is. She knows the royal pony glyph. She knows what's waiting for them. She knows Joy Boy. But it turns out Oden actually ripped the pages out, which makes a lot of sense. I don't even know why he'd write it down, because the whole point of Laugh Tale and Joy Boy's treasure is the fact that it has to be for somebody who is ready to accept it, somebody who is worthy at the right time in history to take it up. So it makes sense as to why he wouldn't write it down, and I just like that. It doesn't feel convenient. It doesn't feel like it came out of nowhere. It makes a lot of sense in the One Piece universe for him to rip out those pages. But now, with that being said, Yamato now has nothing to stop her from joining the crew, because Luffy won't say, hey, you know where Laugh Tale is, I don't want you here, you're gonna spoil the One Piece. That's not gonna happen anymore. Now, she has more reason to join the crew, because she would want to finish Oden's journal. She would want to see what he saw. And now this also opens the door for Momonosuke to potentially join the crew as well. Because if I was Momonosuke, I'd want to know what is happening in the world. And not to mention, he has the voice of all things. He is mentioned to be this prophetic figure in Oden's journal. So it makes sense as to why he might want to join Luffy's crew at the end of the day. And I get the argument of people saying, hey, he's the Shogun. You know, he's gonna rule Wano. He's gonna do all this. Look at Oden. Oden's whole persona, his whole thing was, hey, I don't want to be cooped up here. I know I'm going to be Shogun. I know I'm a daimyo, but I don't want to do this. Like, I want to go and explore the world and become a pirate. And that's what he did. The spirit of Oden lives within Momonosuke, within Yamato. So if they want to follow in his footsteps, they would not give a heck about becoming Shogun of Wano. They might say, open the borders and we'll head out of here. But that's all I can see them doing. Yamato for sure joining the crew. Momonosuke I'm like on the fence about. So you guys let me know what you think about that. And don't forget, Momonosuke is an adult. He is not a kid anymore. So when he joins the crew, he'll fit right in. It's not going to be weird if Momonosuke joins the crew anymore. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about that one. All right, next page, we have Raizo officially winning against Fukurokuju. And, you know, surprise, surprise, who would have seen this happening? I'm so sad that Oda off-screened this battle. All that good stuff. Then we have Jinbei showing up to, I would say, save it. He doesn't really save him. He's just like, hey, what are you doing here? And that's pretty much it. But Raizo does mention something very important. The first important thing I've seen him say all arc. He says, hey, we need to hurry up. The preparations for the plan are almost completed. And it's just like, whoa, maybe this is Oda's way of saying, hey, do you guys remember Denjiro? Have you noticed that he's been gone for like 50 freaking chapters? Well, here you go. He's been doing something in secret. I swear, Denjiro is going to be the Sanji and Bon Clay of this arc, because for some reason, almost in every arc, Sanji disappears, and at the very end, he's like, hey guys, I brought the ship to us. Like, don't worry, I closed the doors over here. Bon Clay opening the gates of justice. Like, Denjiro's job is to be that role. He is going to be the person that executes this secret plan when we least expect it. And even if it isn't Denjiro, it could also be Ashura Doji, who, you know, granted, he might still be down for the count from the explosion, but we haven't seen him in a while, so boom, he could also be helping out the scabbards in that way. Now I'm just wondering what this plan actually pertains to. I'm assuming it has something to do with getting them off of this island, but I can't see how Denjiro or Ashura Doji or anybody else could actually attempt that. Like, your real hopes are either Zunisha or Momonosuke flying us down safely. So I don't know what Denjiro is going to do in that scenario. There's also the Orochi situation, which people have been like, oh, Denjiro and all of them, they're going to help assassinate Orochi, which doesn't make any sense at all. Because the last time we saw Denjiro and all the scabbards in one place, They literally cut off all of Orochi's head and then they just left the room. Like, they did not care about this dude. So that's obviously not the plan. And I cannot see them going back up and helping Luffy fight Kaido. That's definitely not the plan as well, because that job is up to somebody else right now. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about the plan and what might actually transpire behind the scenes. So moving on now, we have a couple pages dedicated to Orochi and Hiyori. And it's very interesting because we spend a lot of time here, and I was wondering who is actually going to finish off Orochi. Because like I said, we had the scabbards all cut off all of his individual Hydra heads, and then they literally left the room. They knew he was not dead, but they said, we do not want to waste time with this guy. He's useless. Let's keep on moving. He's like moldy bread. Nobody wants to touch him. And then here we have Hiyori Komurasaki making a PB&J out of this man and eating it up. My main concern with Hiyori actually finishing off Orochi is that while it is poetic, I just couldn't see her doing it because he has this amazing devil fruit that, you know, obviously is wasted on him, but he has this amazing devil fruit where if his heads are cut off, he can regrow them back. And I'm assuming he can do the similar thing with his body as well. So it's just like, how is she going to take him down? Hiyori isn't even known as a fighter. We've never even seen her pick up a sword other than to hand it to Zoro. So how is she going to pull this off? It turns out when she was rubbing his hair, I'm assuming that's when it happened, when she was rubbing his hair beforehand, she actually stuck him with a couple of Kaido Seki injections, whether it's like needles or pricks, I don't really know for sure, but yes, she stuck him with Kaido Seki. He is C-prismed down, he cannot transform, thus if we do cut off his head, he is not coming back. All right, so hear me out. Orochi is a really bad dude. He needs to die. He has done some awful things, and he's at the top of the list of characters that need to go. And if I was in the One Piece universe, heck, I would take care of him myself if I had a devil fruit that could do that. But hear me out though, because in the One Piece universe, in the One Piece lore, I can't even recall a scenario where a protagonist has killed an enemy. If you recall all of One Piece, whenever a character dies, it's because a bad guy killed them, or maybe two opposing forces and they killed each other. It's never the Straw Hats killing somebody. You don't look back and you're like, remember when Luffy, you know, chokeholded that guy so hard and he broke his neck and he died, he couldn't breathe? That doesn't happen. Remember when Zoro cut that dude's head off and, you know, that was it? He killed his whole family? Like, that doesn't happen. The Straw Hats don't kill people. They KO them. They beat them down half to death. You're gonna wish you were dead, but the Straw Hats do not kill people. The protagonists in One Piece do not usually kill people. So is this gonna be one of those scenarios where the scabbard, you know, maybe not a scabbard, Hiyori cuts off Orochi's head and we see that firsthand? Is Oda gonna pull the trigger on a protagonist, on a good person, finally killing an evil character, somebody who is truly deserving of that beheading? I'm curious. I'm wondering what will happen here. I didn't think I would get too into this subplot of, you know, Hiyori and Orochi, but here we are. I'm actually wondering what will happen in the next chapter with them. I swear though, man, call me petty, but if we do some anime things where we're like, hey, you know what? You were a bad guy, but you were wronged by the world, Orochi. Your family was unjustifiably tortured and ridiculed by Wano Kuni. We owe you an apology. I would be so heated. You might as well keep Wano's borders closed because I would invade this place myself and take him down. I really hope we don't forgive him. The way they set Orochi's character up, you either forgive him or you kill him. There's like no in between, right? Because his whole story, his whole backstory is that his family was ridiculed and they were assassinated for no reason. Orochi was hunted down as a child for no reason other than being a part of this family, and he had nothing to do with the crimes they committed. So in a way, it's unjust what happened to him, and it's the country's fault. It's the Kozuki clan's fault for this happening to him. And I swear, Hiyori, Momonosuke better not say, hey, we owe you an apology, because no freaking way. Anyways, moving on, guys. So now that I'm done being heated up about that situation, we have an even more heated situation with Izou and CP0. Yo, I feel like a complete buffoon just a man with an IQ of -10, because I was like, yo, who is gonna take down CP0? Once Luffy beats Kaido, what's gonna happen here? The Straw Hats are gonna have to band together. Luffy is gonna have to gather their strength and take down CP0. Yo, Yamato got freed up. I was like, yo, Yamato can go into hybrid form. She can use COC. She's the perfect candidate to fight CP0. She's the only one who can stand a chance against them. Heck, Sanji needs to get back up and help them out too. We need everybody fighting CP0. Izou. Wounded Izou. Stab wound Izou. Rooftop Izou. Izou with no brakes. Izou that was the 16th commander of the Whitebeard Pirates. Oh boy, Izou took them down. You know, granted, not both of them. Izou fought a 2v1 and took one of them down. And the other CP0 member, the boss dude that we usually see standing in front of them, he is on his butt. He's on his ass. He stood back up. He's like, whoa, like, oh my God, what are the Whitebeard Pirates doing here? Why did Izou fight us? Like, why are they defending Straw Hat, bro? I cannot believe this. This is either mad hype for Izou. Maybe this dude is like crazy Yonko commander levels. He's up there. I know he's part of the Scabbards. I know he trained with Oden and Whitebeard and all them, but we've never seen Izou pull out feats like this. It either means Izou is very strong, or CP0 is very freaking weak. And you remember this. Remember this. We had some of the numbers. We had Apu. We had Drake fight CP0. An even fight. Actually, we had more people on. It was a 3v2. We had a 3v2 scenario, and they lost. Drake, Apu, the numbers, they lost. And it looks like these dudes took no damage from them. Remember after we cut back to them and they were on the floor, and the CP0 agents were walking away with no scratch marks or nothing. And then here we have Izou, wounded Izou, over here taking one of them down. The boss of CP0 getting up. He has blood. You could tell he has blood all over this dude. This dude took damage from Izou. I don't even know how to interpret this anymore. Honestly, it's my fault. I've been hyping these dudes up like no other. I was so excited to see CP0. It was insane. Ever since Rob Bellucci joined them, since we know that they're this hidden organization within the government. We had CP9, which was the strongest. And then, ooh, you have CP0 who's hiding in the shadow of all of it. I was so hyped. And then we have this, bro. I don't even know how to feel, man. You guys let me know what you think about this. Is Izou mad hype? Is he actually like a really strong dude? Or does CP0 just kind of suck? Or did Oda kind of blow the power scaling out of the waters with this fight? Because this is a little bit insane. I'm looking at this. And also we get the name of the tall dude in CP0. His name is Maha. We actually see a little bit of his face, but they're still covering it. So I'm assuming he's going to play a role later on in the story too, because Oda wouldn't just like not show his face unless we were going to see it again in the future. Oh man, I just cannot believe this. So I feel like I have to justify myself real quick as to why I feel like this is a crazy thing to accomplish by Izou. I don't hate Izou. I actually like Izou a lot. He has a cool design. I like his style and everything about him. But the real problem is that he was fatigued when he got here. He mentioned it himself. He was stabbed. He had no breaks. He was fatigued. He was on roof piece. And here he is, taking down one of them and heavily injuring another when Apu and Drake couldn't, like I said. And the reason I have a problem with this, in particular, is because if Izou was a strong character, then I'd be a-okay. If Izou was established as a very strong character, I would be fine that he accomplished this. I wish we would have seen it. I wish it wasn't off-screened. But that's my main gripe with this, is that beforehand, all we've seen him do was go up and shoot Kaido a couple times, not really use any Rio, which I'm pretty sure he probably has. We haven't really seen him use Haki. We haven't seen him do anything really. Even back in the Marineford War, the most he's done was stand around and shoot his guns like this. Like he didn't even fight anybody in particular. That's my real problem, is that we haven't seen him shine, and that here he is finally shining off screen. He does something really cool and notable, but it's off screen. and we just don't know what he's capable of. But if this does do something, if there is some takeaway to this, and if this does show how strong Izou is, then this would show how strong Ben Beckman and Yasop probably are, because they're also gun wielders. And if gun wielders are as strong as Izou, where you could just take down CP0, then Ben Beckman, Yasop, the red-haired pirates are looking pretty good right now. All right, so after Izou mops the floor with CP0, he continues his mission to hunt down Nico Robin, and that is when he gets a phone call. Yo, like this chapter is actually pretty hype. The more I think about this chapter, the more hype it becomes, because he receives this phone call. It's the Gorosei. They're calling you up, and they say, hey, forget about Nico Robin. Forget this mission. I know this lady can read the poneglyphs. I know she could find out the Void Sentry and uncover the secrets, all the dirty secrets we're hiding. I know we've been chasing her for years, but you need to forget her. Throw her out of your mind, because you need to focus on Luffy. You know what? He's fighting Kaido. Makes sense, but hey, that's not important, because Kaido might lose. Luffy might use his awakening, and you need to stop that. You need to get in the middle of their fight and stop that. And I love that the CP0 dude is like, what? You want me to what? What do you want me to do? You want me to go up there and stop the fight? Are you mad? Dude, oh, I feel bad for this dude almost now. Like, this dude's getting clowned on. Not only did Izou almost beat him, but now he has to go stop that fight up there? If this CP0 dude goes to the rooftop, he's gonna get destroyed. Luffy will defeat him. Kaido will defeat him. If this dude interferes with their fight, Kaido would destroy this man. The witch from the Odin flashback interrupted the fight. Then very next day, Kaido took her to the back of the barn, killed her. Kaido killed her. The CP0 dude here has zero chance. The best scenario for this guy is for Luffy to defeat Kaido, or Kaido to defeat Luffy. He needs a victor. When he goes up there, somebody has to be KO'd, because this guy isn't surviving if they're both still up there. Also, even though it isn't said outright, there's like a 99% chance that the devil fruit that the Gorosei and the whole world government is afraid of awakening is actually Luffy's. There's a small chance it could be Kaido's, but let's be real here. It's gonna be Luffy's devil fruit, which on one hand, I'm super excited because they're hyping it up and it's gonna be insane to see it awakened finally. But at the same time, I'm a little bit scared at what this means for One Piece as a whole. The main reason I say that is because when I look at One Piece, I want to say, oh, Luffy used this crazy devil fruit and he made it to become king of the pirates. I don't want to look at it the opposite way and say, oh, the devil fruit carried Luffy. It's like looking at Luffy become king of the pirates. You want to say Luffy became king of the pirates because he's Luffy, because he's strong, because he's determined, because he's endured so much. You don't want it to be the opposite where you said, hey, Luffy became king of the pirates because he had this devil fruit. That should not be the case. And Oda has proved to us time and time again that Luffy is the one enduring all of this. Luffy is the only person that could have done any of this. So the spotlight shouldn't really be shown on his devil fruit. Instead, we should never take that spotlight away from Luffy's own accomplishments. So I can't wait to see how Oda balances this all out to show that Luffy is still the protagonist of the story and not his actual devil fruit. So moving on, though, that went on for a little bit too long. We have the CP0 agent talking to the Gorosei, like I was saying, and this is where we have X Drake getting back up. And yo, X Drake is injured. X Drake got KO'd by CP0, but if Izou can do it, so can Drake. Let's be real here, man. If Kid could take down a Yonko, if Luffy can solo a Yonko up there, the least X Drake, an injured X Drake, could do is take down this CP0 member. I know he lost to him beforehand, but like I said, it was a 2-on-2. Maybe it was a bad matchup, but here we are, 1-on-1. They're both injured. He could at least stall this dude from going to the rooftop. All right, so moving on to the next couple of pages, we have some random updates on Straw Hat members. We have Usopp carrying Kinemon no Kiku like we last saw him. We have Frankie saving Zoro with his arm. And dude, even Frankie knows, like, yo, like, where did you get these wounds? What is happening to you, Zoro? And he's kind of unresponsive, so I'm wondering if Zoro might actually be KO'd. Maybe this is Oda's way of saying, hey, Zoro is getting too strong too fast, so for the next arc, Zoro is going to be gone. Like, imagine that. Imagine if Zoro was actually in some sort of comatose or coma, and he's not in Elbaf or wherever we go to next. The whole plot revolves around getting Zoro the medical attention he needs. I think that would be a pretty cool plot point. That could be some growth for Chopper. That could be a hunt for medicine. There's a lot of ways Oda could play that off. But yeah, Zoro, unresponsive, not looking too hot. Next up, we have Nami talking with Marco. We have this whole scenario going on here. And to be fair, I just gotta say it right here. Out of everybody on Onigashima right now, I know he couldn't walk. I know Izou had to carry him. But Marco looks like he is the least damaged out of anyone around us. I know Marco has an important job healing the people around him, healing the injured samurai and the minks. But at the same time, yo, if he went with Izou, CP0 would not stand a freaking chance. The Gorosei would call him on the Den Den Mushi. They'd be like, oh, Mosh Mosh, like, so somebody pick up the phone. It's ringing nonstop because CP0 is dead. They're done. Izou and Marco would destroy them. I'd feel so freaking bad for these guys. They wouldn't even stand a chance, no cap. So yeah, I mean, they got lucky, I guess. So moving on, we have updates on Law and Kid and their crew. They're still elated that their captains have defeated a Yonko. And I love how Kid and Law are like, hey, like, what do we do if Luffy loses and Kaido comes down those stairs? And they're just like, yo, like, we shouldn't even have to worry about that because he'd kill us. Kaido would absolutely freaking kill us. We have no way to fight him at this point. But hey, this could be foreshadowing that Law will have another last attack ready to take down Kaido, which is a complete joke, but I'm also scared that he might actually have another last attack. All right, so now on to the final part of the chapter. We have Luffy versus Kaido, and they're starting off with a COC clash, which I feel like I've seen this exact panel before. But moving on, we have Kaido realizing that Lin, Big Mom, has been defeated, and I honestly feel bad for him because he has this small flashback of Lin in her prime, and she's like, oh, I'm gonna be king of the seas because king of the pirates didn't exist, and it's just really wholesome. And then you see Kaido start bawling his eyes out saying, oh, we could have been great together, we finally got along, we finally said we were gonna find the One Piece together. And oh boy, the theories that come out of these dang Reddit comments, I swear, ever since we saw Big Mom in this state, people have been saying that Big Mom and Yamato look very similar. At first, I thought these guys were capping. I looked at it and I was like, yo, you guys are ridiculous. Saying Big Mom and Kaido, you know, they did all the things and then boom, Yamato comes out. You think Yamato is Big Mom's child? No freaking way. And then I think about it a little bit more and I'm like, oh, at Whole Cake Island, Lin mentions that she needs a couple more races to complete her, you know, her whole world unity race coming together thing. And she mentions that she needs a Lunarian. She mentions how she needs a couple of species that we haven't heard of before. But she didn't mention how she needs an Oni. She didn't say, oh, I need an Oni. She didn't mention that. And that could be because she has a child that's an Oni, which is Yamato. I could be stretching. I could be throwing up major hype towards this random theory I found online. And then I looked at them together. We have Big Mom and we have Yamato. Tell me why their eyes look so similar. I mean, I could be, you know, deranged. I could be looking in this too deep, staring into the void. The void is staring back into me. But they do look a little bit similar. And I swear, if Yamato is the child of Big Mom and Kaido, I will lose my mind because she is essentially destined to become a Yonko at this point. Like, she is destined for great. She already has COC. She has Conqueror's Haki. And if both of her parents had Conqueror's Haki, it would make sense as to why she would have it too. Everything's starting to make a lot of sense, and I don't like it. All right, so moving past that ridiculous theory, you guys let me know what you think about this. Is this wild? Is this too crazy? Or do you actually see a small chance of this actually happening? So anyways, moving on, we have Luffy versus Kaido. Kaido is still crying because he's really sad that Lin is defeated, and Luffy, a little bit mean, bro. Not gonna lie, Luffy is a little bit mean, hitting the dude while he's crying. He goes into Snake Man instantly, no introductions. He activates a brand new technique called Hydra, and like the 9-headed dragon or whatever. and he goes absolutely freaking ham. People were kind of guessing how this attack would look. I was thinking that it would be like a multi-form attack. People were wondering if it would mimic Magellan's Hydra from Impel Down. Not the case. Turns out that Hydra is actually the Gear 4th Snake Man version of his Gatling, because he's just shooting it out like non-freaking stop. Kaido can't even keep up with it. He is wondering where these attacks are even coming from. This is gonna sound a little bit crazy, but I feel like this attack is so super effective against Kaido, so overpowered against him, because beforehand when Luffy was in Gear 4th, normally with Bound Man, you know, he was putting up a good speed match against Kaido, and then a couple chapters ago when Luffy was in his base form, he kept up with Kaido as well. And in Luffy's mind, he said, you know what? I'm gonna go Snake Man. I'm gonna go with my fastest form, even faster than before, and I'm just gonna blitz this dude. Not to mention all these attacks, all these hits are coded in COC. You see the black lightning hitting Kaido in the freaking cheek. It is so good to see, but at the same time, it's like, yo, Kaido is going to retaliate. I don't know how he's gonna get out of this, but he has to. There's no way this is the attack that finishes off a Yonko. But Luffy does make a declaration that this is his final Gear 4th. And he doesn't say attack, he just says Gear 4th. This could be foreshadowing Gear 5th. It could be foreshadowing an awakening. But he does state that this is his final Gear 4th. And in the same sentence, he makes another declaration, which Luffy declarations are almost always true. But he says, I will not stop attacking you until I've knocked you out of Wano. And it's like, yo, like, those are some fighting words. Whenever Luffy says that, he is always right. He will knock you out with the very next attack. And I can't see that happening with Kaido. I cannot see Kaido being taken out by this move right here. I feel like Luffy has one more attack hidden behind his arsenal. Like I said, maybe Gear 5th, maybe an awakening, but I feel like it has to be an awakening. It has to be, because the way the Gorosei were hyping it up, the way Oda is hyping up this awakening, there's no way we leave this arc and we do not see it. Because imagine we leave this fight without seeing it, right? That means we're gonna go another 50 plus at least chapters of Luffy not fighting anybody and us not having that juicy freaking awakening. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. It really means the world to me if you have made it this point organically. Please like, comment, subscribe, and do all that good stuff. You guys just, you literally lather me with support. I wish I could like easily switch the screen so you could see it. Actually, I think I can. All right, you know what? Let's go on a little tour right here. This is my YouTube channel account right here. You guys are freaking killing it. Look at this. My last video, 630 likes, 96 because this was random, 580. Like, you guys are destroying this. All these like ratios are in the 90s, 98, 97. Like, the amount of support you guys show me, just like the small freaking YouTuber, it's actually insane. And I can't thank you guys enough for everything you've been doing. Like, just supporting the channel, liking the videos, like even the smallest things like that really mean a lot. And with that being said, like I said, thank you so much for watching. Below, I'm gonna link my Discord if you guys want to join that. It's kind of dead, not gonna lie, but if we add more people in there, I think it could be pretty fun eventually. I also stream on Twitch, so follow me there as well. I have a Twitter, which I rarely post, but hey, who knows? If I have enough followers, I might. And then Instagram if you're interested in that as well. And that's pretty much it. I can't really ask you guys for anything more than just watching these videos. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, because I'm gonna start making daily, or hopefully daily videos of random discussions, like just goofing around about One Piece theories, One Piece characters. And tomorrow, my first video for that is going to come up, and it's going to be talking about Uruj, who is a supernova that's been missing for a while, so stay tuned for that. And there's no break next week, so I'll see you soon. Peace out.